Now, all the videos I thought I'd make in my YouTube career, I did not see this one being one that I had to make. But there's been some big news involving the XFL that has happened just recently, earlier today. So without further ado, let's get into that video right now. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show. Welcome back to another video. This is going to be an update on the XFL. Now, I've very rarely talked about the XFL in my videos. It's only been related to WWE and Vince McMahon that maybe I brought the XFL up, but I think that maybe once or twice I've talked about it. But this is going to be a whole video about the XFL and its potential to go even higher up above than what people expected. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on. Share the video and the playlist, and let me know in the comments below what do you think about the progression that the XFL is taking, and how successful do you think it will be as an American football organization that is trying to compete with the likes of the NFL. So let's get into the first thing. So the big news is that Vince McMahon, who was formerly the owner of the XFL, is unfortunately no longer the owner, and The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, the one that was supposed to be the president in 2020, the one that's made all these Jumanji movies and all these fantastic great things in the course of a 5-year to 10-year, basically since he's left WWE span, has decided to invest in a football organization known as the XFL. Now, what do I think about this? To be honest, keeping it in the relative of someone that's actually a former football player in The Rock, unfortunately his dream never came true as a football player. The fact that he still has the passion and to actually take a chance to go and buy a very unknown prospect such as the XFL, which has failed once before back in the early 80s, I believe, 90s, and trying to revive it once again and bring it back, and The Rock has decided to take the wheel and purchase it with a bunch of partners. I think this is going to be a good thing for the XFL, just because as much as I love Vince McMahon, and I know he has a passion for the XFL, he obviously loves American football, and he probably still, till this day, thinks that he could have gotten it to be more successful. In the end, I feel like he has so much going on with the WWE, and he has so much going on with wrestling, and wrestling is basically taken over his entire life, that maybe it was just too much to ask to try and run two fantastic, amazing sport enterprising companies on his own. Now, I know he's given power to the likes of Triple H and his family, and he's negated or divided power within the company to make it relatively easier for him. But I just think that in the end, it's just too much. It is just too much. And now The Rock has taken over that role and is willing to get to work to purchase the XFL. Now, I don't know much about American football. I'm going to be the first one to say it. I'm not from America. I'm from Australia, the land down under, the country that everyone seems to forget about when you're not in Australia. That's where I'm from. So the XFL for me is, the way that I see it, and maybe you guys agree with me as well, it's a prospect organization. It's a prospect company that has potential to become something great. It has the potential to become a competition for the NFL, but it will probably never get to those heights. Because the NFL is something that's already globally well known. It's one of the most entertaining sports to watch in the world. It's one of the most successful in the world. And I just don't think the XFL, at least in the immediate future, will compete. But what it does bring is a bunch of players who may have not been able to reach the NFL to be given a chance at the XFL, and to provide more people with jobs that have the future to become an athlete. And I think that is probably the best news that you could ask for in the end. And The Rock said it himself on Twitter that it's going to give multiple people that have their aspirations and dreams to make it come true. And this is the best thing that you could ever ask for if you're a professional football player looking to get a career as a football player. Whether it's the NFL, the XFL, you have now multiple scenarios to get to the best place you could possibly be, to get the most money you could possibly get, and to have the best career you could possibly have. And some people might not be on those levels, but might actually be given a chance now. And sometimes it's all people need, is to have a chance. Yeah, they might not be the greatest when they're younger, but once they actually get that opportunity and they realize that they are this close to getting to exactly where they want to be, they're going to work even harder for it. They're going to become even better for it. And sometimes that's all you need, an opportunity in the XFL to go and perform. And I think the XFL is going to be a perfect platform to reach the next level. So that's where I see the XFL. Now, I'm sure that The Rock and the partners involved that purchased the XFL for, by the way, it was around 15 million according to reports, and I think The Rock even said it himself. 15 million is the reported price, which is not much, to be fair. It isn't much, but again, it's a prospect, it's a developing company. You're not going to get it for billions of dollars. Like, you're just not. It's not at that level. So yeah, it's relatively cheap price, but in the end, I think The Rock and co see this as an opportunity to compete with the NFL, not necessarily be the stepping stone to the NFL. And that's going to take a very long time, in my opinion, to become into reality if that is the goal. Now, of course, I'm fully going to be supporting The Rock in this because I'm a very big The Rock fan. I'm a very big WWE fan. I'm a very big fan of his movies. I'm a big fan of Vince McMahon as well, who was the old owner, the former owner. So obviously, as seeing these things, you want the XFL to succeed. It's been a laughing stock for a long time as well. People really, ever since the rebirth of it, people didn't believe in it. Back in the 80s, people didn't believe in it, and I think now people still don't believe in it. But I think this is going to be a business venture for The Rock that's going to be something relatively new for him. Obviously, it's a dream come true for a lot of people to play football, and there is going to be an avenue for that. But maybe if he does get this successful, he's only going to add another thing to his list that he's been incredible at. Movies, fantastic at movies. Business owner, could that be the next one? Obviously, he's one of the best wrestlers in the world when it comes to charisma and everything. He's one of the best at that as well. So if he can add a successful business owner to that list, oh my goodness, what can't this man do, man? If this man gets the XFL off the ground and actually takes it to heights that we've never ever believed it could, then this man deserves to be the president of the United States, man. Like, there's some things in life that you'd think that people can't do, and The Rock's just that person, you know? All of them are gone, bro. He could do everything, you know? So yeah, look, this video is not going to be a relatively long video, but I do think it's very entertaining to see. It's very interesting to see where this goes with the XFL. I have high hopes, but I do think it's going to be a very long time. It might even be beyond my lifetime. And that's how long I'm talking about here. This could be 50 to 60 to 70 years down the line, that the XFL does become something great, and it is a predecessor to the NFL, and it does compete, and it provides good prices for players, and it provides another avenue for the best in the world to go and play. But that is in my opinion, a very, very long way away. And of course, it might not be The Rock that does that. Of course, there's going to be other people involved. Maybe the owners beyond The Rock. Maybe whoever takes on the business after The Rock. If there is another place that the XFL does go to, it's going to take a long effort. And Vince McMahon was the founder, the foundation, and now it's going to The Rock. And maybe The Rock carries it. And once The Rock is finished, then someone else will go and get it. And in the end, that's the way that I see it, to be honest. Dwayne The Rock Johnson has taken on and continued the development of the XFL, and let's see where it goes. It should only go up from here. There is going to be gradual improvements, but again, we're talking about competing with the NFL. I just don't see that happening for an extremely long period of time. So thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. For the first NFL related video, or the first football related video, American football related video, how well did I do? Let me know in the comments below. Again, it's not a sport that I watch. It is a sport that I'm slowly trying to get into. And it's probably going to be the last video I ever speak about the NFL for a very, very long time, until I can fully grasp what the sport is all about and all the players and involved. Again, that takes time, man. That's why UFC videos I don't post about them a lot, because I'm still learning. And boxing is something I'm learning maybe a little bit quicker, because there's people involved that I like that are in it. But again, I'm not a huge boxing head that I can post videos about all the rumors and stuff. I just don't know much about that sport. So NFL is probably in that stage as well, where I just don't know much about it. But since The Rock is a wrestler, since Vince McMahon is the owner of the WWE, I just thought that it'd be pretty good to talk about this, and to talk about how maybe the wrestling community can get involved in other sports as well. And that's the end of the day, communities do get involved with each other, and that's why I've made this video for all those people that are interested in wrestling and are also interested in where the XFL goes. So without that being said, have a wonderful and safe day. I will see you guys probably, if you're a wrestling fan, when SummerSlam is over, but you never know. Things can happen, and we'll talk about it more later. Take care, and peace.